All right, thanks for remaining with us. Many Nigerians are worried about the alarming rate of clashes between farmers and herdsmen. And the question is, how worried really is government? In some parts of the country, of course, there have been loss of lives and property.
Indeed.
But what exactly is the problem?
Now, the House of Representatives has identified the need to declare a state of emergency on security over the spate of deadly attacks in the country by these suspected herdsmen.
In the 70s, that they had routes where cattle could go through. But today, the land is fixed. We are not expanding. And we have been told to go back to the land, to farm. We are diversifying into agriculture. So where is the land that we are going to share with the animals?
Tempers almost fled when some members of the House whipped up ethnic and parochial sentiments in favor of the herdsmen. When the motion was debated upon on the floor of the House, some members stirred the hornet's nest, saying Nigerians should make sacrifices by providing an enabling environment for herdsmen to thrive.
Why Nigerians, we have become so edgy now, maybe because of the food we eat now. We eat so much of Maggi. We have become so impatient that we don't want to listen to each other. We don't want to, profile solutions that will be workable to our country. Mr. Speaker, I sit here, my colleague is saying the cattle and the herdman, values his cows more than the lives he is killing, which is not true. You can't sit down here and just make conclusions. Yes, the herdsman values even the life of the cow more than his own life. That is how God has created him.
This did not go down well with some members who cautioned the House not to introduce tribal sentiments into the issue since human lives are involved.
To whip sentiment, we are talking about tribal intolerance. As leaders, there are certain things that we should not say in public. We must be able to calibrate our utterances so as to assuage the nerves of our people. Mr. Speaker, as I speak with you, my heart bleeds. We are human beings. No cow, not even 10 billion cows, is up or has enough value like a human being. It's not one human life. So when you say God has created them in such a manner that they value their cows more than human beings, I find that very insulting and demeaning.
Totally wrong for anybody, any human being to say there is tribal intolerance as long as this matter is concerned. The Fulanis and the Tea people that I'm talking about have lived together for years. Is it correct at this moment for a herdsman to enter our farms, violate our women, violate our daughters, destroy our yam that is our only source of livelihood, and then when you shout, you are killed, your pregnant women are ripped open, and then somebody says it's tribal intolerance? I don't understand. I don't get it. There is sympathy on the side of the herdsmen.
The House resolved to set up IPAR committee on a 2-day investigative hearing to engage stakeholders comprising herdsmen, farmers and security agents to identify the underlying causes of the clash and provide a lasting solution.
Yes, indeed. The land is fixed and finite. How does man share the land with his animal? Is that really what it is, or it's far more than that? You've heard the submissions of some of the National Assembly members.
I think it was a very interesting debate, but I was actually more worried that somebody could say that God created somebody who has presented himself as a cannibal, somebody who now sees devouring of lives as a pleasure. And God created him that way. I do not want to believe that. That is just a function of orientation. It has nothing to do with creation. These people have equally not been cautioned in any manner. And as a result, this thing keep growing. They now see it as a way of life. That whatever obstructs their cattle,
they take it out.
Should be taken. I mean, that is the way it is being treated. And I think that is not good enough. What should happen really? To start with, this problem we are having is a function of, maybe I don't know, I think some time ago there were grazing reserves, such that these people could graze on certain areas. But even at that, they were equally going out of those areas. It's just that Like I remember in my place, when cattle graze on any farm, the owner will usually compensate the owners of the farm.
Ah.
Yes. So we even used to look forward to that period when cattle rearers
would come around.
Yes. You know, because it will make the purchase of the cattle, you know, cow meat. Then
cheaper.
People, normally it comes at a time people want to do some festivities and the rest, so it will be cheaper. People will contribute money and buy, you know, sometimes they even donate some cow to the community for allowing them to graze in our bushes, you know. But peradventure, there is such a mishap, in such a situation that they graze on your farm and you raise that complaint before them. They will leave the bush, come to town and engage with the people. And they will compensate the person. Okay, what was destroyed? What is the value? They will pay you. In some cases, they will even give you a cow.
And then you wonder what has changed, really.
They come to town, they come to our markets to buy foodstuff and go back to the bush to take care of their cattle. So they were friendly. Now, and at that time too, they were not carrying arms. The highest instrument you see them with is their dagger and the stick. That's all. Now, dagger, because once in a while you want to cut something and all the rest, you know. But this time, they are not carrying arms. So you need to ask the question, what is this arm meant for? Is it to attack, you know, wild animals that are, you know, more dangerous than the cattle? Or human beings?
Is it a result of the politicization of this whole thing? In those days that you're pointing to, maybe the cattle rearer was actually the actual owner of the cattle, maybe 5 or 10 or so.
They were equally very many too.
Now that you have more influential people owning this cattle and employing their services, it has brought a totally new dimension.
It has become a serious challenge. But more importantly and more worrisome is the situation that this is even getting more, you know, heightened under this administration. It wasn't like this. You know, they now got more energized.
Emboldened.
So emboldened because they now feel maybe a Fulani man is the president. And to suggest that that is actually the line of thought, the president on his own has not even taken it as a challenge.
Body language.
He has never taken it as a challenge, and this is a major disaster, you know, that is waiting to happen. Let me address it, you know, drastically. It has never happened.
All right. So let's look at this. A list came out a few days, last week or 2 weeks ago, I can't recall the exact time, of the list of some of the sponsors of herdsmen in Nigeria. Some have admitted anyway, some are denying.
But at least some admitted.
Some. So, yes, Nigerians still don't understand. They are saying that herdsmen are not violent, they are not this, they are peaceful, blah, blah, blah. We've heard
whoever
so many
is saying they are not
versions
violent must be very
But then we'll look at what has been done in Benue State, and we're looking at Benue. We've not talked about Adamawa. We've not talked about Taraba.
Taraba is there.
Enugu, other states in the southern part of the country.
It is happening in local communities. They don't have access to the press.
Exactly.
I've told you in my community, they've sacked my community year in, year out, and they'll be killing people.
I was about to talk about people that have been displaced because of this. Agatu. More.
So many.
I can recall many areas, communities in Benue, in Taraba that have been left desolate. And Nigerians are not talking about this. They don't even know about it or reported cases of this. So you talk, is it about the trade now? Or there is more to it than meets the eye?
You see, I expected that before now, the security agencies would have done a more thorough job to actually ascertain the drive behind this kind of, you know, desire to suck blood and the rest of it. Because it has gone beyond cattle rearing. It has gone beyond. You see, the way they move now, like the ones I've experienced in my community, once they come into the community, in the forest, the farms and the what have you, they don't even want to see any human being.
The herdsmen.
I'm telling you, the moment anybody sights anything that smells like cattle, you have to find your way out of the bush. And unfortunately, should they sight you, the next is of open fire. As if there is, you know, a lingering war, a lingering
like there's some kind of perception problem on both sides.
Yes,
either
that maybe they feel they are going to be disturbed from carrying out their... I don't understand. You just shoot, and it's not even ending there. Some of them even break into huts to carry food items. So this is really a gang of criminals. It's not enough to use cattle to deceive us.
And the House of Reps Speaker, Dogara, has said that the lack of proactiveness on the part of security agencies is actually escalating this. You just pointed to that fact. So how do we now ensure that our security forces are more proactive than they have been? And of course, Mr. Buhari, Mr. President, has also been accused of not having the political will.
Because the buck enters the table.
When the situation is like this, then how do we really end this problem?
Yeah, one is that these people are terrorists. There's no two ways about that. We are not even the ones who have declared them terrorists. It has been declared the fourth most deadly terrorist organization in the world, not just in Nigeria. They carry arms, they do everything that suggests. So if the army can go and dance Python dance in the southeast as a result of IPOB that were not carrying arms, that were not reported to have killed anybody, I expected that this time around, they should be dancing Anaconda dance with these people. So that let the army go into the forest and deal decisively with these people. They pass through. They have a track they pass through. They pass through places.
But Mr. President has said to the Benue leaders,
it's not just even about Benue alone.
Yeah, at least, you know, following this particular incident. That's why we've been discussing this for weeks now.
Accommodate,
accommodate your countrymen for God's sake.
That is not what should come from the president. It means
what should come from him?
The first thing is to feature out the killers. They are criminals. That's the first thing we must understand. People have been killed. That is not important to you. He has not even visited the place. That, oh, this has happened. It means the same respect that we are talking about that we don't have for human life. He has just shown it.
But what about
because I expected that by now the president would have even paid a visit to the place. At least just to, because that was
the federal government wasn't even represented at the burial.
So the man should have been there at least for once. He took pain to visit the Boko Haram infested areas. What was it about? Is it not because of human lives? The same thing should have happened to this one. Let us know that really this man empathizes with us and that he has that same feeling, he feels the same way we are feeling. And that will even, you know, make the people, you know, a bit more relaxed that where now the president feels our pain.
Now, what about the Inspector General of Police, really?
I don't even see the police being able to address this issue.
Because they have a lead, and many Nigerians are saying it as well. You have someone, the leader of the herdsmen in Benue State, who came out publicly to say that this is the reason for killing these people. And yet the man is walking
by now the leadership should have been arrested.
Governor Tom is shouting in, nothing has been done.
He doesn't even need to shout before this thing is done. Somebody, at least the discussions, the altercation, the quarrel, the question of disagreements and the rest of it with the anti-open grazing law is enough for you to, I mean, you can arrest for suspicion. Then in your interrogation, if you have any reason to let the guy go, that well, this man is not culpable, you let him go. But not even an attempt has been made to arrest these people. And we know that those who rear cattle are part of their association.
So is this an emergency situation that we have on our hands? Because members of the House of Reps are calling for a state of emergency all across the country.
Indeed,
would it not be extreme?
It calls for a full declaration of a state of emergency on our security issues, you know, challenges, particularly with respect to the way and manner it is being done in Benue, Taraba, and that neighborhood. I expect that a more decisive action should have been taken. Every of those herdsmen found with arms, whether they are shooting or not, should be killed because the intention is to kill.
Just like Ghana,
the fact that they are not carrying day guns. You need to see the kind
sophisticated
of. I'm telling you. So for anybody to carry that kind of, you know, machine, it tells you that this man is out for something.
Now, the Deputy Senate President, Ike Ekweremadu, has said that it's about time for Nigeria takes a second look at state police, that it could be
that one is long overdue.
Solution, which many saw that they played politics with for a long time, but now...
Let them keep playing politics, and you continue to have this situation. It is long overdue. We can't do without it. And in any case, we call ourselves a federation. I don't know who is federating. I don't know what is the basis of federation. We should, you see, in a federation, every unit should be able, every unit is as good as the state. Except with few issues like, you know, international, you know, relations and the rest of it.
Yes.
Then matters of currency and those kind of policies. Otherwise, every other thing you operate it. Today, I mean, practically every state in the United States has its own police. It is when the issue goes beyond your territory that the federal police comes in.
So would it be unfair then to say that, look, the state governors are really not doing enough? Recall under the Jonathan administration, he gave some 100 billion naira or so for grazing reserves for ranches and, you know, what have you.
Yeah, government
as
can actually
part
assist,
of a way
yes.
of solving this problem. Do we even know whether that 100 billion naira was released to the
Did
state
it get
governors?
to,
Did it get to them in the first
get
place?
to those who
and if it
should
did,
get to?
what have they done with it?
And in any case, you see, if this thing is actually embraced to start with, you will find people who are not even cattle raiders who might build ranches. So you bring in your cattle for a fee. You know, it becomes business. But to say that states should create, you know, grazing colonies, I don't know if the terminology is the issue now, but if it's a question of, because if I understood what colonization means, to call an area a colony of a kind, it shows, yes.
To them.
So I expect that you can designate an area that where this area is for social purpose, but it is not something that should not become, you know, government providing the facilities.
Well, 16 governments have agreed to provide
now, if the government is going to do that, it should do that to every other farmer in Nigeria. There are people who run farms. Government is not giving them
there
money.
are growing demands already from some.
One thing that we seem to be losing sight of is the long-term impact of these herdsmen attacks on farms. Of course,
food security.
Of course,
yeah. Is it the IMF or one of those, you know, bodies that talked about famine, the threat of famine in Nigeria, by 2050?
You know, the question of food security is being threatened, because don't forget that Benue is designated as the food basket, even though there are other places, but that is their preoccupation. Now, for fear of herdsmen, farmers will not be able to get to their farms.
Okay, we'll have to leave it there. Dr. Danekere, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for
Thank you. It's always my pleasure.
Thank you. All right, we will go on a short break now, and when we return, we'll be looking at another interesting topic. Stay with us on the show.